If you have a kid who fights you on sunscreen, this is like a miracle product. Hi everyone, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, doctor, lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 10, 7, and 5. If you are interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle, you have come to the right place, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I often also talk a lot about skincare, particularly from my perspective as a former physician. So I tend to look at ingredient lists and just marketing hype as exactly that, as hype. And I share all my views about like what I think is worthwhile to use, what I think is worth skipping, etc. based on my experience, but also based on my knowledge. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit subscribe below also. In general, the videos where I speak about skincare are titled either product empties or like monthly favorites. So those will be the ones to watch out for if that's what you're here for. So I haven't done a product empties video in a while, but basically I just grabbed one of my baskets. I have a couple more baskets of things that I had been finishing up in the fall. Last year I was on a no-buy year, so I wasn't buying very much new at all. I was just trying to get through a lot of the stuff that I had accumulated over the years. You know, when you're unconsciously shopping and just buying whatever, you smell something nice, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get that. I need a new body wash. Or it's not even about need, you just sort of grab it. So in a year of not buying, I've been working through a lot of things, and it's been really satisfying to kind of piece out what I actually enjoy using, what is a favorite of mine, and what is just stuff that I happen to have lying around. Going forward, I hope to maintain a low buy year for the rest of my life, so I won't be buying things based on advertisements or what's popular at the time. I think I have a much more cultivated attitude towards staying faithful to what works for me and going with that. That all being said, let's get into the product empties. So this is my basket, you guys. It's just full of random things. One of the first boxes that I picked up was this. This is the Lord Jones High CBD Formula Body Lotion. This was a gift to me from one of my friends, and you know, it was okay. It's like CBD is a really popular ingredient right now. Including it in topicals has become really popular in 2019. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of this. I think my favorite part of the whole product was the box. So if you can see here, the box itself is remarkably pretty. And I actually might cut this out and tape it onto something for a bookmark because that's the kind of nerd I am. But I was not super impressed. I didn't understand the point of this lotion exactly. Supposedly CBD topicals can decrease aches and pains and things like that. And maybe they can, maybe they can't. This particular one didn't do anything for me, and I didn't really like the smell of it or anything. The next thing I'm pulling out of my basket is the CeraVe moisturizing cream. Now you can pick this up at any drugstore, and I've talked about CeraVe many times. My love of CeraVe knows no bounds, but basically they have a lot of ceramides in here, and ceramides are one of those things that are naturally produced in your skin that help increase the barrier to water loss. So it prevents transepidermal water loss and maintains the elasticity and sort of like just hydration of your skin. So it's a really good ingredient to have in your skincare. The CeraVe moisturizing cream is rich and white and thick, and just like what you would imagine an old school cream to be. I use it entirely up. There's nothing to show you, and I love it. I actually have bought the pump bottle for this and I like it, but honestly at the end the pump stops working, and so you have to take off the lid anyway. So after that I just started buying the one without the pump, and I love it. Like, I think it's a great body moisturizer. The thing about moisturizers is you want to put them on while your skin is still damp, so you kind of lock in that moisture layer, right? That's the important thing to remember about moisturizers like this. You can actually use this on your face too, particularly if you have dry skin. I don't really like the formulation of it for my face. It just, I don't know, I'm just extra like that. You totally can. I like CeraVe's PM lotion for my face because it has the added ingredient of niacinamide, which is really helpful for redness and its discoloration and things like that. So I'm much more of a fan of that for my face. Best hairspray ever. This is the L'Oreal Paris Elnet Satin, and I just get it in whatever's available. I honestly never really look at the little thing here, but I try to get at least a stronghold. This one's the extra stronghold with a UV filter for color treated hair. My hair is not color treated, but hey, whatevs. I really love it. I haven't really noticed a huge difference. I don't use hairspray that often, but when I put a ponytail in, I have a lot of baby flyaway hairs, and they kind of like, I don't know, They make like a halo around my head, and sometimes if you want a straight back ponytail or if you just want your hair to maintain curl or something, a light mist of this is great. Next up is KP Duty by Derma Doctor. Now this is like an AHA moisturizing lotion. It's specifically formulated for KP, which stands for keratosis pilaris. If you guys have like chicken skin, I don't know if you can see it on the camera view here, but I have a little chicken skin on the upper arm area on both sides. Sometimes women get it after pregnancy. Some people get it just as they're teenagers or even in childhood. It's just like a hormonal thing. They don't exactly know what triggers KP to start, but basically what's happening is you're having like an overproduction of keratin that's coated by a layer of skin cells. So you get this kind of like raised bump thing, and if you squeeze those bumps, and if you're a picker, you get this little keratin pearl that pops out. I am a picker of my skin when I have bumps, which is a very bad thing to do because then you get scarring and hyperpigmentation around it, which has definitely happened on my upper arms. But I just wanted to try to address it with some sort of chemical exfoliation, which is what this cream does. So it's an AHA lotion. You can get something like this. This is from Sephora, I believe, but you can also get like AHA lotions from the drugstore. You can get things like, I think there's a lotion called, I don't know what it's called, but I will try to link it in the description box down below. And I've used it for a while. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use a lactic acid wash, like a salicylic acid face wash in the shower on my upper arms too. So for KP, sort of the standard of treatment is using some sort of chemical exfoliant, some sort of lactic acid wash, something to help those skin cells that have grown over that keratin pearl to like slough off. And don't pick, don't be like me, don't scratch, don't like try to like physically exfoliate the bumps away because that just sort of encourages scarring and it just looks worse. The appearance of it gets worse. So KP Duty was fairly good. I don't have any complaints. It's a little bit more expensive than lactic acid creams that you would find in the drugstore, so really you can just use those. Next up is one of my ride or die products, you guys. This is by Hada Labo, and this is their oil cleanser. I get this off of Amazon. It's really inexpensive. I do a double cleanse every single night, and basically what I do is I pump this onto my hand, just 1 or 2 pumps depending, and I rub it all over my entire face. I just massage it into my skin for like a minute or 2, and it takes off everything. I generally have at least 2 or 3 layers of sunscreen on my face by the end of the day, so it breaks all of that down. It also breaks down all my mascara and like eyebrow product and stuff like that, and I wash that away. When you add water to your fingers and put it on your face, it turns into sort of a milky emulsion kind of thing, and it washes off. Then I come in with like a hydrating cleanser, like the CeraVe hydrating cleanser or something else that's non-foaming because I'm not such a foaming person. But that's a great, simple, inexpensive way to take off all your makeup, all your sunscreen at the end of the day. You really don't need these fancy cleansing balms and things like that that you can get at Sephora. This is a very basic olive oil based type of oil cleanser. Olive oil isn't so great for your face when you keep it on there for a long time, but when you're washing it off immediately, it does a great job breaking down all those bonds of like cream and makeup. Next up is my liquid biotin drops. I've talked about this several times. Biotin has been shown in certain studies to help with maintaining, your hair, skin, and nail health. And so I take the biotin drops. I love the drop formulation of vitamins because you have it right at your like toothbrush, and I just remember, like, it's so easy to just take a dropper full and drop it in my mouth versus like a pill where I have to go get water or whatever. Next up is a sunscreen. This is the MD Solar Sciences Kid Cream, and my children love this cream so much. Like, we have run through several tubes of this. I discovered it during summer camp last year, and it is very slick. Like, I think it has like a dimethicone base. It's a physical sunscreen. It's basically titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, but it has like a silicone or dimethicone base because it has that really nice soft feeling when you spread it around, a really velvety feeling, as opposed to that oily kind of greasy feeling that a lot of sunscreen has. It's a little bit pricier than the average kid sunscreen, but my kids don't fight me when I put it on them, and my kids can have a little sensory stuff going on, and that is worth the extra price to me. The fact that they don't fight me, it's worth it. So I will definitely link this down below. If you have a kid who fights you on sunscreen, this is like a miracle product. Next up is another sunscreen. Now this is the Glow Stick from Supergoop. It has a very shiny texture coming out of the tube. You actually can't see it here, but it looks like a clear sort of push-up stick thing. And it's a great thing to throw in your purse if you forgot to put on sunscreen, if you have to reapply sunscreen. It gives you a little like glow. It gives you like a little greasy, like kind of glow for a second, and then you just rub it in with your fingers and it just dissipates completely. Like you don't have this greasy after finish or anything. It is a chemical sunscreen, so it looks like a little clear tube. I really love it. I wouldn't advise leaving it in your car because it does look like something that might melt and leak, but it's a great thing to just toss in your purse on the way to things. So I can hear my children, so I hope they don't get too loud. Another product is the Centella Blemish Cream by Cosrx. This was my first try of Cosrx, and I don't know, like I'm a little bit conflicted. Like I like the texture of the cream. It was a nice rich cream. The thing about Centella Asiatica is that it's supposed to be redness reducing. It's supposed to decrease inflammation under the skin. I don't know that I really noticed any of those effects, but I enjoyed using this cream. I found it to be very moisturizing, non-irritating if you have sensitive skin. I didn't really notice too much like hyperpigmentation reduction or anything, but I really did enjoy it. Next up is my first ever tube of Differin. Now this lasted me for several months. Differin is a retinoid, you guys, and if you have not incorporated a retinol or a retinoid into your skincare regime and you are in your 30s or 40s, this is the time to do it. There is no other skincare ingredient that has been researched half as much as retinol and retinoids in terms of preventing wrinkles and fighting aging of the skin. And so there are specific ways to start using this cream. And if you are interested in incorporating Differin or any type of retinol or retinoid into your skincare regime, it's really important to take it slow. I will do a dedicated video on this if anybody is interested. So if you are, definitely comment in the comments down below because otherwise I won't. But I have really enjoyed this. I'm on my, I think, second tube. And after I finish that, I probably will up it to a prescription retinol. This used to be a prescription product, but now it is not. So you guys, that wraps it up for this month's product empties because I just heard my children return and it will get too loud in here for you guys to hear anything. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will be doing the rest of my basket in my February product empties video. So if you guys have any specific questions about retinol in particular, leave them in the comments down below and I will do my best to make a video devoted to that. I hope you guys are enjoying your 2020 so far. And as always, you guys, I really do appreciate your time and I love that you spend some of it with me and I wish you the very best day.